Wow, Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade says that in his last fight, Billy Joe Saunders looked like ish versus Martin Murray, so he fully expects Canelo Alvarez, I was born ready, to beat Billy Joe Saunders in this unification, and we're going to talk about it. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to my channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. Before I get started, make sure you guys click the link, UFC Heavyweight Action, Stipe Miocic, Francis Ngannou Part 2. Use my link. The easiest way is to click the Linktree link in the description box of all my videos. If you will be ordering that UFC fight, it should be a banger, maybe even end in a knockout. We'll see what Ngannou, he looks in shape, he looks focused. We'll see what he brings to the table in this rematch. So use my link, it does help the channel continue to grow. Shout out to everybody for the birthday wishes as well. Team Aries, March Madness, let's go. Demetrius Andrade, he did an interview and he talks about the Canelo Saunders upcoming fight, which he should be interested in because he's called out both for several years at this point. And Andrade did an interview, link in the description. He says, quote, "May the best man win. Canelo showed that he was maybe able to carry a little power up to the 168-pound division. He's trying to be a little more agile and mobile or whatever, just going off his last fight. Saunders, Billy Joe Saunders looked like shit, S-H-I-T, when he fought Martin Murray. He couldn't do anything. He really didn't dominate him in the way that he should have. The way somebody supposedly that good, that talented should have done against Martin Murray, who's been out of the ring for however many years. If he brings that same type of fight to Canelo Alvarez, I think Canelo's going to beat him. I don't think Billy Joe Saunders is a walkover. I don't think if he just gets hit, he's going to quit. But I don't think Canelo's knocking him out. Nobody's been knocking nobody out, really. I mean, he knocked out this guy, Avni Yildirim, Average Pilgrim, who wasn't supposed to be in the ring with him. But when he's in there with somebody that knows what they're doing, he's not knocking them out. He says, I don't know, because he fought David Lemieux, who's like 4-5. You know what I'm saying? That really don't have any skills. That's just like lunging in with punches and he sits stationary to try to throw one big shot. When you got somebody who knows how to box and move and can make fun of somebody like that and frustrate him just off natural ability, I can't really make that comparison. So he's saying the David Lemieux fight is totally different than Canelo. He says because Canelo is fundamentally sound. He has more foundation under him than David Lemieux. And he's gotten a little better in some areas, but nothing crazy to me. From my standpoint, where there's a big difference, he's just fighting the right opponents and he's fighting them at the right time, as I like to say. Like Sergey Kovalev, fighting him when he's 40 years old and done. Miguel Cotto, Shane Mosley, you know what I'm saying? Putting weight restrictions on Danny Jacobs after the weigh-in and all that other stuff. So they know what they're doing at the end of the day. Wow. Now, ironically enough, Ego Stradamus strikes again. You have an Olympian, a U.S. Olympian, and a pro fighter who is saying exactly what Ego Stradamus has told you. Canelo is moving very strategic. There are guys like Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade, Jermall Charlo, Lions Only, keep running your mouth, keep David Benavidez, Artur Beterbiev, Dimitri Bivol, Zurdo Ramirez. There are all these guys out there in the world of 160 to 175 land, the three divisions that Canelo has pretty much been in the last couple of years, and he's choosing Billy Joe Saunders, a guy with minimal power at 160, who Demetrius Andrade just said didn't look good in his last fight, Martin Murray, which is what I said. Like, he's going to have to, first of all, I want to see if there's drug testing for Canelo Saunders, because I haven't heard much about that. And we know Billy Joe Saunders was supposed to fight Andrade, but the fight never happened because he did fail a drug test, you know? So I want to look further into that to see if there's VADA testing. There's a lot of UK fighters and they're training in, you know, different different areas, different countries, and all types of stuff, and we have to keep uniform, like some type of uniformity, and get a handle on that. Outside of that, Billy Joe Saunders, what has he done at 168? He hasn't really done anything. He got a title, yes, but I mean, boxing, it's like they continually look at fighters and they think that the fans are stupid. You mean to tell me you don't think the diehard boxing fans and people who run successful channels and platforms in boxing for several years can tell the difference between an established champion like Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence, Canelo, guys like that who have put in work, have title defenses, multiple division champions, things like that, and Billy Joe Saunders, who hasn't done a hootenanny at 168. Billy Joe Saunders' best work, best wins, best names are all at 160. So if you think people are gonna just you're not gonna fall for the banana in the tailpipe, you got another thing coming. Yes, it's a unification, but this is also politics. These types of politics happen in the sport of boxing when sanctioning bodies get greedy. They want them sanctioning fees. They have great relationships with certain promoters and or networks and all this stuff, and they authorize or allow fights to happen. Somehow, some way, you got all types of weirdos who are ranked highly in that sanctioning body, and when we as fans watch these fights, we're like, how did this guy get like average Pilgrim? How did the WBC rank him so high to the point where you thought he needed to be number one mandatory for Canelo? Same thing with the guy that Billy Joe Saunders fought to get the belt. He fought this He Fat She Thick or Shizitsu, or I don't even know the dude's name, but he fought him and he didn't even look good. Billy Joe Saunders got rocked in that particular fight. And it's like, how is this guy ranked? And this is a title fight directly after Billy Joe Saunders ducked Demetrius Andrade and failed a drug test. And he's getting a title opportunity in a new division. That's politics. So Canelo is basically tiptoeing around the Andrades, the Charlos, the Benavidez, Bivol, Better B of Caleb Plants, and the guys who have looked more impressive. I agree 1,000% with Billy Joe Saunders' assessment by Demetrius Andrade. I don't think Billy Joe Saunders looked particularly good. Martin Murray is a guy who his best days were probably when he was fighting Sergio Martinez. I thought he should have won that fight, but that was several years ago. And this was after Sergio Martinez jacked up his knee in the Chavez Jr. fight, right? He fought him in Argentina. That was probably his last performance where you could argue he fought a big name and won. I thought he lost later on to Gabe Rosado. Gennady Golovkin had no guys had max tick punches, right? Golovkin walked through him and stopped him, all types of stuff like that. So more UK mismatch and rematch room, UK matchmaking from Eddie Hearn, and this is the fight that has garnered Billy Joe Saunders to get a Canelo fight. And meanwhile, you have black fighters like Demetrius Andrade and Charlo, and the fans constantly say they got to do more and be more impressive. And guys like Demetrius Andrade, the reason he hasn't fought even certain guys like Martin Murray or Chavez Jr., it's not that he can't beat those guys. His name is not, up for grabs, and he's avoided. So it's very different circumstances. Billy Joe Saunders has been called out by Andrade and Jacobs. I can attest to that. I made several videos about that. Charlo has talked about he'll whoop Saunders, and Saunders didn't take any of the opportunities. Saunders didn't fight guys like Caleb Smith even. Zurdo Ramirez. He hasn't fought nobody, especially at 168. He never fought like a Badu Jack type of person, right? Never rematched Chris Eubank Jr. So it's like, what has he really done? But these are the politics of boxing. I agree with Andrade. We'll see how the fight plays out, but I too am picking Canelo. And some people are acting like Billy Joe Saunders has a chance. Canelo is a very talented fighter. He's hard to outbox, and he's hard to win on judges' scorecards. So I really don't see what he's going to do to get this victory. That's just my opinion, especially judging off of the title fight, the Martin Murray fight, and the Marcelo Esteban Corceras on a Logan Paul KSI 2 rematch card. Billy Joe Saunders has not looked impressive at the higher weights above middleweight. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Do you agree with myself and Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade? If you disagree, leave me a comment and let me know. But I know you're just disagreeing because of your emotions. Thank you for the birthday wishes. We working.
So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.